Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who we are. Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who we are. Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who we are. Here we came too far, in the darkest days.
Hey, what up, y'all? Planet of Fake for Kids here. This is the Janari Ricks and the Daryl, I believe Johnson was his last name, the 39-year-old gangbanger that basically is being accused of Janari's murder, one of the latest child fatalities of the area. And I was looking at the press conference for FBG Duck, the police press conference, and a reporter kept screaming, Hey, Deputy Chief, have y'all lost control of the city? And he just ignored him. Hey, Chief, have y'all lost control of the city? As the other reporter, he was just ignoring this dude, and you could clearly hear this dude. He's the loudest voice, a reporter. Hey, Chief, have y'all lost control of the city? Just kept screaming it. Make a long story short, they removed him from the press conference. Threaten people with arrest for passing a police line. People out there getting murdered by the groves, including children, and they're worried about locking somebody up for going past a police line. This was a deputy chief. But also in the comments of the opinion of the eyewitnesses who videographed it, one comment stuck out to me. It was the comment that said, a 39-year-old gangbanger. You gangbanging at 39? Exactly. And there's nothing against it. But you 39 years old gangbanging killed a 9-year-old boy. There's nothing you want to go to jail for, man. That area is out of control. The only solution is people itself. And this is the bad thing when you promote violence. You make a violent environment. On the live, I showed a couple of different perspectives from older men. One was a devout religious man that worked at either a radio station or a podcast or something, but he spoke about being one of the first DJs to play FBG Duck on the radio in that area, right? So he had kind of knew him. He's telling the young people the music don't have nothing to do with it. If you got a weak mind, then you'll follow the music. Why should anybody, you know what I mean? And this is the point I wanted to make. Leave that out there for children who have weak minds and influence easy. And if all they look and see successful rappers around them and not successful business owners or professional people, then they don't have no other role models than this, rappers. Rapping is the cheapest hobby you could pick up because you don't need nothing but your talent. So it's a little bit different than basketball, because with basketball you need sneakers and things like that. Football, you need equipment. You understand? But rapping, I just gotta remember some words in order. Bet. You understand? So I believe the music does have an influence on it. But at 39 years old, you would think he has something better to be doing than trying to actually kill somebody for an organization he's a part of. Who be bailing these guys out? Do their organizations be getting them paid lawyers? Because your life is basically over because the gang don't want you to tell on them. But when you facing 25 years with no body to call because your family told you don't mess with the gangs, you ignored them. At 39, he got OGs younger than him. Out of everybody at 39, you would think you have some seniority that you wouldn't be having to still be active, right? Who knows what it was, man? I'm not, after all, he's guilty till proven innocent. But if he did do it, man, this is nothing you want to be in jail for, man. Because when he gets out in 30 or 40 years at the age of 80, who knows what to expect. So send prayers out to the Hicks family. With that being said, what you heard and saw was the content. For additional content, click the link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, visit my community wall, and if you have time, go to www.amore-eka.com/TV. That's our Planet of Fakes 2. We are the new umbrella, Planet Up.
Preliminary information until Chicago police give us this update, but another senseless act of violence here in the city of Chicago. You said it. It played out on the northwest side at around 6:45 tonight in the Cabrini Green neighborhood in the 900 block of North Cambridge. What we know is that this little boy, 9 years old, was shot in the chest. That's according to Chicago police. Community activist Andrew Holmes says the little boy was playing outside when this shooter apparently hopped out of a vehicle and started firing. That vehicle described as a light-colored vehicle. He hopped back into the passenger side of that car and it took off. Now, I did get a chance to talk to some people that live in that area. They did tell me there was a lot of yelling in the area, and then they heard multiple shots after that. Let's listen in to Andrew Holmes as he describes what he knows about this shooting. Take a listen.
They got many cameras over there, so many cameras over there. Start working the streets, start knocking on these doors. These kids should have a place to play, and that's on the outside, that's by their home. These kids should be safe, whether they're in the car. To the shooter, how you gonna live knowing that you just killed a baby?
And again, you heard community activist Andrew Holmes talking about the lay of the land in that area, multiple cameras in that area. Let's hope that that helps solving this case, because as of right now, there is no one in police custody for shooting and killing this says, quote, gun violence is every bit of a public health crisis, taking to Twitter to mourn the death of 9-year-old Janari Ricks, killed just last night in a shooting. Michelle Fiore spoke with that family and others who say they are simply tired of burying our youth. Michelle?
Good evening, Tia. Well, just in the last 6 weeks, 14 children in the city of Chicago have been hit by gunfire. An epidemic, a sad epidemic that the mayor questions. How many communities will be traumatized before the violence stops? A father overcome with grief has no words. To understand the loss of 9-year-old Janari Ricks, you need only look at the devastated faces of these young people.
All of these just friends.
Tears flowed freely at a vigil honoring Ricks on the block where he was shot multiple times near the former Cabrini Green.
I just wanted them to be seen because they need to be seen. They need to know they're not the problem.
The soon-to-be fourth grader at Salazar Elementary School loved to play basketball. Police say he was in the 900 block of North Cambridge Friday evening when someone opened fire, striking him multiple times in the chest.
The killing of innocent children and women and elders got to stop, and the community can no longer hide them or cover them.
Mourners here noting Janari's death falls on the birthday of 7-year-old Dantrell Davis, who was shot in the Cabrini Green neighborhood while walking to school back in 1992.
This community has not gathered to retaliate.
Right.
This shooting has not brought about a spirit of revenge. In fact, it only brought this community back together as it did 30 plus years ago with Dantrell Davis, right?
And on the west side tonight, these bikers know what it's like to bury a child.
Enough is enough. But we got to keep on burying our babies. They don't even stand a chance.
Since her daughter died, Ashaki Banks tries to reach out to mothers with the same loss.
I reach out to her. I try to go meet her face to face, put my mask on, and still just give her a hug, because she still need a hug in spite of what we're going through with the virus.
The Chicago police, unfortunately, have very little to go on right now as far as this case goes. They are pleading with the public, as our community activists and those who loved this little boy. If you know something, say something. Anonymous tips can be made at cpdtip.com. Reporting live.
Planet of the Fakes 4 Kids. And Pigstar HH News. Accused gunman went hunting when he fatally shot 9-year-old on near North Side, prosecutors say. Community mourns for 9-year-old boy shot dead in Chicago. Janari Ricks, 9, was supposed to be in 4th grade this fall. He loved to play basketball. But all that ended on Friday night in Chicago, when someone opened fire and he was killed. At least 14 children have been shot in Chicago in the past 6 weeks. Chicago, prosecutors say a man went hunting last week when he fired shots at a group and killed a 9-year-old boy playing on the near north side. Daryl Johnson, 39, faces a first-degree murder charge in the murder of Janari Ricks in a vacant lot near the site of the former Cabrini Green housing project, according to Cook County prosecutors. Janari was playing with friends in the row houses about 6 p.m. Friday in the 900 block of North Cambridge when Johnson opened fire from an alley, fatally striking the boy in the chest, prosecutors said. Chicago police said the boy was an unintended target. Daryl Johnson, Chicago police. The boy was taken to Lurie Children's Hospital, where he was pronounced dead an hour later. He went hunting, Assistant State's Attorney James Murphy said Tuesday in a bail hearing. Surveillance video allegedly shows Johnson coming to and from the area of the shooting. Multiple witnesses also identified Johnson as the alleged shooter, prosecutors said. In a Monday news conference, CPD Chief of Detectives Brendan Denahan credited neighbors with helping officers find the suspect quickly. Janari Ricks. We're not in this position without the help of the community who came forward and gave us information which allowed us to identify and arrest the suspect, Denahan said. Johnson's attorney, Steve Greenberg, wrote on Twitter Monday that Johnson is the wrong person to be charged. Johnson's criminal history includes a 2005 conviction for aggravated vehicular hijacking, according to court records. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison. 15 children have been shot to death in Chicago since June 20, according to Sun-Times records. 5 of the victims were 10 years old or younger. Also Tuesday, police announced that a third man is charged in the fatal shooting of 7-year-old Natalia Wallace during a 4th of July party on the West Side. Full video link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, and comment, hit the bell. And, if you have time, thank you very, very, very much. Go to www.amor.
What up, y'all? Planet of the Fakes, King of Content. Thank you for looking at my video. And also, I need y'all to basically follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is it ain't even POTF. It's just planet_of_the_fakes. Planet_of_the_fakes. Subscribe to all my channels too. Mainly Planet of the Fakes, Umbrella Corp, POTFS, Planet of the Fakes Women Group, Planet of the Fakes 4KDZ, and make sure you like us on Facebook. Just put POTFS Global News. Thanks for watching our video, and definitely make sure you visit www.amordashika.com/TV, and that's basically where you see thousands of videos on our website, unflaggable, uncopyrightable. You could be there too. Just get your content together. King of Content, Queens of Content, Planet of the Fakes too. We are a platform. With that being said, what you heard and saw was the content. For additional content, click the link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, visit my community wall, and if you have time, go to www.amordashika.com/TV. That's our Planet of the Fakes too. We are the new umbrella, Planet of. And I wanted to bring some things to your attention. Oh, you know I'm going to follow that. You know I'm going to follow that. I'm going to follow that. Oh, I'm definitely going to follow that. I'm following that. I'm following that. Following that. Skip, 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 skip. Skip, 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 skip. Oh, I'm following that. 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 Oh, I'm following that. I'm following.
Yeah, we came too far in the darkest days. Don't know where we are or who we are. Yeah, we came too far in the darkest days. Don't know where we are or who we are. Yeah, we came too far in the darkest days. Don't know where we are or who we are. darkest days.
Hey, what up, y'all? Planet of Fake for Kids here. This is the Janari Hicks and the Daryl, I believe Johnson was his last name, the 39-year-old gangbanger that basically is being accused of Janari's murder, one of the latest child fatalities of the area. And I was looking at the press conference for FBG Duck, the police press conference, and a reporter kept screaming, hey, Deputy Chief, have y'all lost control of the city? And he just ignored him. Hey, Chief, have y'all lost control of the city? As the other reporter, he was just ignoring this dude, and you could clearly hear this dude. He's the loudest voice, a reporter. Hey, Chief, have y'all lost control of the city? Just kept screaming it. Make a long story short, they removed him from the press conference. Threatened people with arrest for passing a police line. People out there getting murdered by the groves, including children, and they're worried about locking somebody up for going past a police line. This was a deputy chief.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Real STL News. This is Sly Live here on Cobra and Hodemont. First off, I want to send my deepest condolences to the family. We got reports of one person being deceased upon arrival. I noticed it was a female. They don't have her body covered up. That's why I have the camera pan this way. I'm right here on Cobra and Hodemont. The cause of death we do not have, but once again, it is a Caucasian female. That is correct, because I'm seeing what you guys can't see. I don't want to put it on the camera, but they do have her.
In this instance, you're reaching out for any information you can get on the killer. But to this poor family who lost their little boy who loved basketball and he inspired his neighbors.
That's true. You know, it's tough on that mother. Right about now, it's tough on that father. You got complete children over there, almost 300 to 400 children over there in that little section over there that are traumatized.
What is happening there? Why is this happening?
Well, you have so much self-hatred. It hasn't been taught. And the first thing they want to do is grab a gun and settle their problems, which is wrong. Then also, you know, we still have little drugs here, little games there, but overall, it's just self-hatred, no love for the next person. When you ask, am I my brother's keeper or am I my brother's killer?
So hard to look at these pictures, and this hits close to home for you. You lost a daughter to gun violence.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still traumatized by it every day. You know, that's my baby, that's my firstborn, and it's tough. I'm just still in the healing process because I'll never get over it. You won't hear the footsteps, then you won't hear that voice. And I know what these families are going through, and it is tough.
But it inspired you to do what you're doing, and you're doing something so important, and that is you're building and establishing trust in these communities. And you're actually actively working as a liaison to the police. In this particular instance, this 9-year-old boy who lost his life, have you gotten any leads, any information? I know you're also offering a $4,000 reward.
Yeah, we got a lot of tips in. The community is stepping up. You know, it's not necessarily about the money, because if life is worth any brown penny we can put up, but so be it if we have to put it up to find out where the perpetrators are. Then we do what we have to do. But the community is stepping up. They're starting to change and bond with the detectives in the police department, because I asked them, not to point the fingers at the detectives or the police. Point the finger where the shooter is at. This is the one that stirred up and caused this problem. Why would you take this child life and then run like a coward?
Our heart breaks for that family. Our heart breaks for you and your family after losing your daughter. Thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for what you're doing. You're trying to help so many.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. And I do have a nationwide national call center. It's called 1-800. You tell us. 1-800-883-5587.
Thank you for coming on tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hey, what's up, guys? For anybody out there that doesn't know me, my name's Aaron Sherrill. I just kind of wanted to make this quick video, man, because I'm pretty pissed off right now. You know, as most of you people know out there, that there's been a lot of rioting and protesting and a lot of just pure chaos going on around the country. The country has been, you know, not only politically divided, but racially divided. And, you know, which is very disgusting, man, to see that. You know, I don't condone racism. I think it's a big crock of shit. You know, something that caught my eye this morning, I was reading an article that Fox News had actually posted. In Chicago over the weekend, there were 9 people killed and 25 wounded. Amongst those people, the 9 dead, was a 9-year-old boy named Janari Ricks. Young man was out there playing with his little buddies, and some asshole with a gun decided he wanted to open up fire on a crowd, and then he ended up getting shot in his chest. You know, there's all kinds of stigma going on around about you know, how they should ban guns and this, that, and the other. But you know what? That's not going to fucking work. It won't work. You know it won't work, because criminals are still going to get firearms. Just like crack cocaine's illegal, but motherfuckers still get high on crack. You know, it makes me sick that this young man lost his fucking life. A couple of weekends ago, an 8-year-old girl ended up getting killed in the car with her mother. Where's the fucking outrage, man? Where's the outrage from anybody? Doesn't matter if you're a Black Lives Matter activist, a Republican, a Democrat, a Libertarian, or a fucking Martian. It does not matter. This is completely and utterly fucking disgusting. Dude, my blood is boiling. I'm so fucking mad. I'm pissed. So please excuse my French. I wish I had a political voice so I could get up there and I could tell all of these assholes up there in Washington and all over across the country that this is fucking ridiculous. All that's going to happen is people are going to sit there and they're going to talk about this. They're going to sit there and they're going to talk about this issue. Oh, well, that's good for them. Motherfucker, he died. Oh, it's a Democratic held city. Doesn't matter if it's a fucking Democratic held city, you idiot. Doesn't matter if you fucking, what you support. It doesn't fucking matter. Do something that's morally just. Morally just. This is morally fucked. Little kids are dying. Little kids are dying. Little kids are getting killed, man. I condone and I blame everybody out there that will not come to an agreement or find some type of common ground with each other on this shit. I've been reading comments all over, you know, especially on that post that, oh, I bet you Black Lives Matter won't talk about this. Yeah, they probably won't. It doesn't fit the fucking narrative. But will the Republicans talk about it? Probably not. I'm blaming everybody. It's everybody on both fucking sides. And I blame the stupid ass fucking mayor of Chicago. That's who I blame as well. This is absolutely ridiculous, man. Y'all people want to defund the fucking police, but you have people killing innocent people. Little kids. Little kids. Wake up, America. Seriously, wake up. It can easily be your kid, man. Easily be your kid. So tonight when you go home and you get off of work, if you're fucking working, if you're not out there protesting, go home and hug your children. Tell them how much you love them. Squeeze them tight. Squeeze them tight. Because you never know. Because that could easily happen to your kid, man. That could easily happen to your kid. The more this riffraff fucking keeps taking place, the more of this you're going to see. Doesn't matter if it's a conspiracy theory. Doesn't matter if it was a fucking Antifa member that caused it. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't want to hear any excuses. There is no excuse why a 9-year-old boy should have lost his life this weekend. While he was playing with his friends at a fucking park. Wake up, America.
A bright, beloved, athletic, soon-to-be 4th grader who loved math and basketballs was just 9 years old when he was shot and killed while doing what every child in our city should be able to do without a second thought. He was playing with friends on a warm summer evening just outside his front door. Then shots rang out, and now, instead of planning for a future, Janari's parents are arranging their child's funeral. I want to extend my deepest condolences to Janari's family and assure them and the entire city that bringing this little boy's killer to justice is the top priority of the Chicago Police Department. We have also 4 officers recovering after being shot during arresting a violent repeat offender on last Wednesday. That offender was paroled from prison in April after serving just half of a 5-year sentence for being a felon in possession of a gun. And it wouldn't surprise me at all that Janari's shooter also has a lengthy criminal history of gun possession and gun violence. Thankfully, the 3 officers who were transported to Loyola for injuries were released the same day. The 4th officer struck by gunfire is still being treated in Illinois Masonic, and I visited him this past Saturday, and doctors say he is progressing. He is by no means out of the woods yet, but we're hopeful for his speedy recovery. We also faced another weekend of gun violence that saw 24 shooting incidents and 33 shooting victims, which is the lowest number of any weekend in July. But none of this matters. None of it matters when a child loses his or her life. There were 9 murders of those 33 shooting victims. 2 were juveniles, and unfortunately, Janari became the 38th juvenile murder victim of gun violence in Chicago this year. 5 of these children were under the age of 10. Our detectives are investigating potential leads that will bring Janari's killer to justice. And once again, we ask anyone who may have any information or may have witnessed this tragic incident to come forward so we can prevent the killer from harming another child ever again. Despite these challenges on several fronts, our officers, Chicago PD officers, continue to press forward to take illegal guns and violent offenders off of our streets. Chicago PD officers made 66 gun arrests and recovered 96 guns since Friday night. I'm gonna say that again. Chicago PD officers made 66 gun arrests and recovered 96 guns since Friday, bringing the total number of guns recovered in this city so far this year to 5,736 guns recovered just so far this year. 6 of these guns recovered this past weekend was the result of brave work of our district intelligence and TAC team officers in the 5th district, who recovered multiple illegal firearms while monitoring a gang funeral service for potential violence. So at a gang funeral, officers recovered multiple illegal firearms. Our officers also made 3 outstanding murder warrant arrested 3 murderers this week. 13 arrests were for criminal sexual assault, and 6 for outstanding warrants for robberies, 1 being an aggravated battery as well. In total, for the week, Chicago PD officers made 66 arrests for violent crime for the week. All of this hard work after 3 officers were shot. In addition, we had 85 officers test positive for COVID in the month of July. I'm gonna say that again. 3 officers were shot this week, and 85 tested positive for COVID in the month of July, for a total of 677 officers who have tested positive for COVID so far this year. But our officers keep coming back, risking their lives for the residents of Chicago to protect this city. Next, I'll have Chief Dinahan come up for an update of the investigation of Janari Ricks' murder.
Good morning. As the soup mentioned, everybody knows what occurred, very close to where we're standing today. So currently we do have a suspect in custody, and I want to thank all the officers and the detectives who have been working around the clock since this incident occurred to arrest this defendant. Specifically want to thank the gang investigations officers who did an excellent job to place this person into custody. And currently we are working with the state's attorney's office to work up the case and ensure we do everything we can to actually charge the suspect. So we are hoping through continuing the investigation that we will be able to secure charges in the next day or two. I think everybody knows basically, as the soup mentioned, what occurred. The young boy's playing out there, not doing anything wrong. As a defendant, he drives up, kind of sneaks through like a cut of a gangway, and then he discharges a firearm, not at this kid, at a group of other males who are standing near the poor boy. And unfortunately, as the bullets are flying, it's the 9-year-old who is shot and killed. And then this defendant makes good his escape. And as I mentioned, the detectives, gathering video, and but basically, we're not in this position without the help of the community who came forward and gave us information which allowed us to actually identify and arrest the suspect. So all the video in the world and all the hard work of the detectives, we're not able to arrest the suspect unless the community comes forward and actually helps us. And in this case, they did. We were able to make a speedy arrest, as the superintendent was talking about, and we're hoping to secure charges within the next 48 hours by working closely with our state's attorney's office. So I just want to thank everybody involved, as I mentioned, the officers, the detectives who have been working around the clock, and then most importantly, the community who did come forward and help us out identifying this suspect. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Alderman Burnett.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to give my condolences to the Ricks and the Ford family. I happen to have grown up next door to the Ford family, so it's like my family. Very disturbed about this incident. The unfortunate thing about this incident, all of the assumed people that was involved with this incident all know each other. Matter of fact, they've been knowing each other, their families been knowing each other for over 50 years. So I empathize with the parents of the children who did what they did, but just want to say this, although they all come from the neighborhood, they don't live there anymore. People, you don't live there anymore. Stop coming over to the neighborhood and doing your dirt. Do dirt where you live, or don't do dirt at all. But stop coming to the row houses and doing things. The people in the row houses are just trying to survive, just trying to live, just trying to raise their family. I want everyone to know that the two people, the guy was shooting at and the guy who was doing the shooting, neither one of them live over there. The violence did not come from people who live in the row houses. The violence came from people who come over to the row houses and do their dirt. We need to keep these people out of our neighborhood. We need to make sure that the good people that live in the row houses, that's why so many people stepped up to the plate to talk about who did this, because they want peace down there. They want to live in peace. They want their kids to be able to play. They have playgrounds in the backyard. They want their kids to be able to play in the backyards. They want them to be safe. This young man and his mom both grew up in an organization over here called Batter Hand Club, which is a Christian organization where the kids play and then they pray every day and then they eat. Even those young people who probably did the violence grew up in one of these organizations, but they got turned around. I need to say this. Please, stay out of the row houses. Please, if you don't live over here, stay away from over here. And then those of us in the neighborhood who know that people are in our neighborhood to do bad, we need to let them know. You need to get out of our neighborhood. Go somewhere else. The other thing is, I'm so happy that people stood up and not allow for this young person to just get killed and nobody get blamed for it. I'm glad that people stood up and came to the plate. And we need to stand up more. If you don't say anything and if you don't do anything, tomorrow it can be your family. I lost a family member to gun violence, and I tell you this, everybody who ever lost someone to gun violence, feel it every time somebody gets killed. Every time someone gets killed, everybody who has ever lost someone, and you immediately think about your family member who got killed by gun violence. If we don't want our family members to get killed, we need to say something and we need to do something. We do not have to live like this. We do not have to have people terrorizing and taking over our neighborhood when they don't even live there. You need to do something and we need to say something. Let's take back our neighborhood. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Randall K. Blakey. I serve as executive pastor of LaSalle Street Church and executive director of the Near North Unity Program. The Near North Unity Program has as its mission to connect and convene residents and stakeholders in our diverse community, enhance its growth, and improve the quality of life for all being the operative word. I first and foremost want to extend my most sincere condolences on behalf of myself and the church to the Ford and the Ricks family for the loss of Janari. Secondly, I want to thank all of my community colleagues that came together yesterday to bring about what we now realize as someone turning themselves in. Next, I want to also appreciate the work that we've been able to do and the relationship that we have, the good relationship that we have with the 18th District. I want to thank the superintendent for being here today, and I also want to thank Commander Stevens. As a pastor, I recognize that as an everyday life experience, that wherever there is sincere and wherever there is devastating tragedy and I lost my thought there. I'll continue. Wherever there is sincere death, there is also going to be sincere resurrection. And so this is an opportunity now for us to think about this community as a resurrected community, a community that can resurrect and come together in the unity that this community was formed on. As my colleagues have stated, as Alderman Burnett stated, these families have known each other for over 50-some years. There's a great deal of love that has existed between these families over those years. We don't know what happened between then and now, but now is the time for this community to come together in unity and to be resurrected. To be resurrected at a time where we can speak with each other, where we can talk with each other. We also want to communicate our sincere concern for the person that pulled the trigger in this particular situation. We know that that person is in tremendous need of someone to speak with, someone to talk to, someone to for them to console with, and we want to be that voice for that person and for that family. I overheard one of my community colleagues speaking earlier about the need for this community to have some type of trauma services to come to our community and to deal with the trauma that everyone in this community has experienced, not only yesterday, but for the last several years. It's imperative that we have those types of services to come to this community for such a time as this. The last thing that I will say is it's tremendously important for everyone in this city to understand that we have to dispel the myth that these are bad people that live in the row houses or bad people that live in Marshallfield Garden Apartments. These are all good, honest, working people. And as they are good, honest, working people, as the alderman has stated, they want to live in peace, and they deserve to live in peace. And as they deserve to live in peace, we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can in our capability to provide the services that they're going to need so that not only they can get through this particular trauma, but so also that they can continue to live the life that they're expected to live. And that's a life of peace, a life of comfort, and a life of safety. Thank you very much.
Now I'll take any questions. Let's try to go left to right this time, or I guess we'll, yeah, left to right. Yes.
Alderman Burnett, you mentioned that neither the suspected shooter nor the suspected intended target were from the row houses. Could you speak to what they were doing over there at the time of the shooting and what brought them there? Do they come there often? Like, what led up to it?
Yeah. So I would say this: whatever they was doing, they didn't have no business doing it. Right? So they were in the neighborhood doing something that they didn't have no business doing. Whether it was drug trafficking or gang banging or whatever the case may be, they didn't have any business being over there doing it. You know, and it's unfortunate that people try to take advantage of people that know them by doing stuff around them and don't know that they put people in jeopardy when they do that. And that's why, you know, unfortunately, we have a young person that's deceased right now because of that. Folks need to stop putting other people in jeopardy with the things that they are doing that's not legal.
Yes, Jeremy. I'm going to defer answering that question until we charge the person. I think that's the most appropriate response for me at this point. You have a second question that I can't answer? Yes. I'm going to repeat your question because it's so important. She asked what made the difference in this instance in bringing someone in custody quickly. It's the community-police relationship. The community willing to come forward and give information to help the police solve this crime. Without the community, we can't do our jobs. We can't. We need the community to help us whenever we have violence in order to be able to solve these crimes. So that's a really important question. I think the answer is really increasingly even more important because I want the community to hear our gratitude towards them and the way they stepped up and were able to bring some closure to this family. Question?
Last time we talked, there was like a nest camera that caught a glimpse of a car that was used to track down the person involved in the shooting. We have more community support this time. Are you seeing a turn in the tide here with the community trusting police again if these two come forward with some tips?
And it's tenuous, and I mentioned that word yesterday, so fragile, because all communities are not trusting in the same way. Many communities lack trust completely that we have to build from ground zero, but communities like this, they felt comfortable coming forward with information almost immediately where we're able to solve this crime. And so I guess the best answer I can give is a mixed bag, but I would encourage those communities that don't have a sense of trust to look at this community as an example of how they can be made safer by bringing violent criminal offenders to justice off the streets of Chicago, which makes their neighborhood safer, with the relationship strong enough to trust the police to bring someone to justice. Dina Ham? Yeah.
So as the soup mentioned, right now with the investigation, I'm going to focus on the suspect being in custody, and we'll talk more about the details after, if we're fortunate enough to secure charges. To answer your question now, though, I don't have that information, no. And I don't think that's accurate, but I'd have to dig a little deeper to dispel that completely, but I do not believe that's accurate. This happens, just a rumor, it happened so quick that doesn't even seem to make sense.
I can't hear you. So the question was, what is Chicago police doing to offer protection for those witnesses that do come forward and give information as it relates to violent crime? Really good question. I've heard this question repeatedly. Is there some kind of witness protection program, or can we offer any protection from Chicago? So I've answered it in two ways. One, the U.S. Marshal Service runs the witness protection program in this area, and witnesses that want to contact U.S. Marshals, we, Chicago PD, can facilitate that relationship going forward for witnesses that want to come forward on other crimes. Chicago PD can also offer witnesses some level of comfort, likely not 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and likely not a relocation like the federal witness protection program. So it's a twofold step, but I would just say you're less safe by not coming forward and solving these crimes. You're less safe. I know that the thoughts are I'm safer because now the suspect is not focusing on me, but these suspects running the streets of Chicago kill other people, likely kill other people near you. And so the fact that you don't come forward renders you less safe. So I would encourage you to take a leap of faith, come forward to Chicago PD if you have any information on any violent crimes, so that we can all be safer taking these people off the street. Last question, anyone? Oh. We have been encouraging communities to come forward repeatedly. This is the best example of a community coming forward. There are also other examples where we get tips, but we need to gain momentum in this area in order to see the crime decline in the ways that we all should deserve to be able to have our kids play out in the front porch of their home. So we need more and more of this. We're certainly not satisfied with the level of communities coming forward, but I just want to emphasize this is the best example of a community coming forward. I would encourage other communities to take note. And today, Cabrini Greens, the Marshall neighborhood, is safer because this person is arrested and off the street. And I would encourage you, if you have any information regarding other crimes, to come forward. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
My only child, my one and only child.
Jalissa Ford sits on a Cabrini Green sidewalk where just a day ago she kissed her only son goodbye.
Now I'm burying my son. I gotta relive this all over again. He all I had. I don't have nobody. My son is gone.
9-year-old Janari Ricks, an honor roll student at Near North's Ruben Salazar Elementary, loved basketball.
Smart, energetic.
But now, an innocent victim of Chicago's gun violence. Mom says he was playing with a friend when he was shot in the chest Friday night, feet from his home near 900 North Cambridge.
I just got the call that he was laying out here, and I immediately came out here. And I watched everything, every moment. I was there when they was working in the rooms with my baby.
Chicago police say the gunman walked up on several people, including 9-year-old Janari, firing a number of rounds that struck him multiple times. That gunman remains unknown and on the streets.
We believe the victim was an unintended target. We don't know who the intended target was.
Now, another memorial set up in Chicago for a young kid caught in between conflicts that don't discriminate by age. And while bullets don't have names, humans do. Janari Ricks was a 9-year-old boy who never got to finish his own story. Chris Hush, NBC5 News.
Hey, Ty, go ahead and double it up. Just double it up.
All right. Everybody ready? Okay.
I already got a guy over there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
T.O. Let's go, man. Tell the state rep gonna call us. I called her.
Okay.
Hey, we got a picture of tomorrow. Move forward. Somebody grab a picture about this child.
Can I? Over here.
Hey, somebody grab a picture of the, come on, let's kick it off. Okay. Let's go, Case. Okay. Please come with the picture. Let's go. Yeah.
All right. Is everybody good?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead and start.
Well, everybody, I'm T.O. Hardigan, President of Violence and Weapons Incorporated. We stand here in unity today because enough is enough. The main reason we're out here because this little young man that was killed out here should be graduating from grammar school or high school instead of being killed in Chicago. But we have a grim milestone in Chicago. We have over 105 homicides during the month of July 2020. Totally unacceptable. There's no way in the world that people should be getting paid to reduce gun violence. And we have 105 homicides in July 2020. Homicides are up 139% in Chicago right now. Totally unacceptable. And we should come together as a people and stop the killings in our neighborhood, period. Whenever young guys cannot walk the streets, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Talk about it, bro. Talk about it, bro. Take your time. Take your time, bro.
Sorry. It's okay. No, what happened is that's just a tear for the young brother. That's all.
Yeah.
And we got to be for real.
And serve the people as you love the people.
I may come back and speak later, but right now I'm planning to just keep things going right now because now what happened is God moved in his own way. Bottom line, you can't be out there faking. This kid lost his life. You can't play games with him. The people in the community need therapy right now. These young people need therapy. They need some counseling. They need all the kind of help they can receive because you don't know how it feels when you lose somebody. A lot of people cannot walk in the mother's shoes, the family's shoes, because they have to deal with this forever and ever and a day. And people are not there in the household with the family members when they lose their loved ones. So with that being said, I'm going to bring up one of my comrades, Mr. Raymond Richards. He's the president of Brothers Standing Together. Then I'll come back later on and answer a few questions, all right? I'm on the union. That's right. Come on, brother. Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Raymond. I'm CEO of Brothers Standing Together, a 501c3 non-profit organization who work with the youth and the men and women coming home from prison. Not only did this touch home, but that is actually a family member. Okay, my family was married into their family, all right? But more importantly than that, this is my community. I come back home to help as many people as I can help and save as many lives as I can save. Unfortunately, his life wasn't saved. So that means we dropped the ball. The men dropped the ball, okay? But we are here to say today that enough is enough and it's over with. We will no longer stand by idle while our children are being slaughtered at an alarming rate, okay? A lot of people say a lot of negative things about this community, but this community is great. Stand up for it. We asking the shooter, turn yourself in. You and I know what's going on. We were born and raised here. You wrong. You out of bounds. Turn yourself in. There's a $40,000 reward on your head, and it's going up as we speak. You will be apprehended. So you might as well turn yourself in. To the children, I pledge to do all I can do to make your lives safe, even if it means laying down my own life. While there are 105 murders in 1 month is unheard of, the murder rate is increased by 51% and the shootings by 41%. We as a people must get involved in order to stop the bloodshed of our people. It doesn't matter the color. We're dying at an alarming rate. We must take a stand now to ensure a better quality of life plan in the city of Chicago. If we don't do it, who will? Next, we will have the state rep, Deshaun Ford, come up and speak.
Thank you, Brother Raymond, Richard, and Tio, and everyone here. My ask is simple. We simply need to treat this as it is, and it's a state of emergency in this community and all over Chicago where people are getting killed. Anytime you have tragedy and trauma, it always follows with counseling, support, but in the black community. If you have a school shooting, immediately we know that you have to send trauma support in. If there's a shooting in a workplace, whether it's one person, two people, you send trauma support. My question is, from the state, the city, and the county, and all the health providers, where are you for the black community and all of the babies and families that have experienced trauma from this shooting and all the shootings that take place? We must get resources in these communities if we want to stop the violence. We talk about making sure that we have more jobs, more resources, contracts, and opportunities, but if we don't provide people with mental and behavioral health support, they can't go to work anyway. We must focus on the well-being of the community and provide health support. If we really care, we will see mental health support here immediately. I saw the babies crying. I've never in my life, out of all of the killings that have taken place, have I ever seen babies cry. A friend, they're
Thank you guys for tuning in to Real STL News. This is Sly Live here on Cobray and Hodemont. First off, I want to send my deepest condolences to the family. We got reports of one person being deceased upon arrival. I noticed it was a female. They don't have her body covered up. That's why I have the camera pan this way. I'm right here on Cobray and Hodemont. The cause of death we do not have, but once again, it is a Caucasian female that is correct, because I'm seeing what you guys can't see. I don't want to put it on the camera, but they do have her out. Her body is not covered. It is a Caucasian female. Her age and name we do not have. But once again, thoughts and prayers goes out to the family. What led up to it, we do not have. But I'm right here on Holdemont and Cobrea, west side of St. Louis. So yeah, once again, I have the camera pan this way due to respect. They don't have the person covered up. I just don't want to put anyone on camera because that is disrespectful. But I can tell you it is a female, Caucasian female. So once again, I'm right here on the west side of St. Louis. That is right off Martin Luther King and Holdemont, right here by these apartments, where we got reports of a person being deceased. Up on arrival, I noticed it was a Caucasian female.
Children are
Others are taking them away. Mothers are crying all around. A solution must be found. Gangs are destroying all our schools. There's no interest in the golden rule, but they took prayer out of a class. Tell me how long will it last? Yes, there is hope. Lord, there is hope. There is hope for all. There is hope. As long as Jesus is alive, yes, there is hope. Children are dying every day. Killers are taking them away. Mothers are crying all around. A solution must be found. Gangs are destroying our neighborhoods. There's no interest in the golden rule. Prayer out of a class. Tell me how long will this last? Yes, there is hope. Lord, there is hope. There is hope for all. There is hope. As long as Jesus is alive, yes, there is hope. Hope, yes, there is hope. Lord, there is hope. There is hope for all. There is hope. As long as Jesus is alive, yes, there is hope. Someone took the life of a child. They took a life of a child they never carried in their womb. They took a life of a child they never endured labor with. They took the life of a child they never watched say his first words. They took the life of a child, they never witnessed take their first steps, take his first steps. They took the life of a child they never heard say the word mama and dada. They took a life of a child they neither breastfed or bottle fed, but still they took the life of a child anyway. They took the life of Janari Ricks, a 9-year-old, shot him in the chest while he was playing outside in the Cabrini Green neighborhood. Took his life in an instant. I'm told he was pronounced dead at the hospital. I'm told he wanted to build his community. He wanted to be a builder, a community leader in his community. They took his life. They took his life. They took the life of a child they never walked or driven to preschool. They took a life of a child they never saw on the first day of kindergarten. They took a life of a child they never held in their arms, but yet they still took the life of a child who never belonged to them anyway, because that child belonged to his mother, and that child belonged to God. But yet they still took the life. Yet they still took and stole and robbed the life of this child anyway. They stole a life. They robbed the community of a life. They robbed this child of his future. They robbed a mother and a father of their son. They still took this life regardless of him being a seed they never planted. A seed they never planted. They never watered, but they still took the life anyway. They never watched that child grow and develop, but they still took his life anyway. They keep taking, and they keep taking every single day. They keep taking and taking and taking and robbing the community, their own community. People who look like them, people who talk like them, people who walk like them, people who feel like them, people who share the same history, people who share the same ancestors as them, and still they keep taking the life of their own children, the life of others' children, the hearts of everyone around them. They keep stealing, and they keep taking, and they keep pillaging, and they keep tormenting. With no reasonable excuse. And while we see people in the streets yelling Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, defund the police, defund the police, we can't even be safe from each other. We are afraid of each other. We can't live in peace with each other. And at the same time, we can come together and yell, defund the police, defund the police, defund the police. Get rid of the police, racist police. We can come together and do that. But we haven't been able to come together to find every killer of every child who was killed this year and throughout this summer, and see that they're buried up under the jail or buried a few feet in the ground. We can't come together to do that, but we can come together and say defund the police. We can come together when it's time to vote against Trump. We can come together. Trump ain't did us harm. He hasn't done us harm. We've done it to ourselves. I can't think of one thing Trump has done to hurt my community. I can think of 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things. It may go in the billions of what my community has done to hurt its own community. While we stand by, while we stand by, while we stand by and say nothing and do nothing and act like we are so helpless when it comes to our own brothers and sisters. We're gridlocked when it comes to our own brothers and sisters hurting us. We're gridlocked, but we so bad and we so bold, and we can take on the White House, and we can take on Trump, and we can take on the whole Republican Party, and we can take on entire police precincts if we have to, and we can burn a city down if we need to, but we can't stop little Ray Ray, who live right down the street from each and every last one of you, from killing us. The hypocrisy in that. The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of I'm not afraid to say I'm ashamed of you. You embarrass me. You utterly disgust me. And you know who you are. You disgust me. I don't even want you to tarry in my eyesight. You disgust me. We know how to come together when we trying to fight the man, right? We know how to come together. When Zimmerman did what he did, we was all out there in full force. When Mike Brown got killed, oh, we gave Ferguson hell, didn't we? Tried to tear the whole city up. It was hell to pay. But who's going to pay and suffer and be outed and outcast when your own child is being killed by your own sisters and brothers? Who's going to be ousted? Are we going to oust them? No. Are we going to embarrass them? No. Are we going to go and look through every nook and cranny and crack in the sidewalk? Now. Oh, but we can launch a hell of a campaign, for Joe Biden, who pretty much laughed in Charlemagne's face on the Breakfast Club, basically told us we owed a vote to him. We owe it to him to vote for him, and he actually has supported racist policy. But we can go all out for that, right? We can come together as one for that, right? We can, right? when Laquan McDonald got killed. Oh my God, it was hell to pay. It was hell to pay. It was hell to pay. That whole police department was not going to get any peace or sleep until we got justice in the case of Laquan McDonald. That's just one white cop, one isolated incident in comparison to thousands, in contrast with, not comparison, in contrast with thousands upon thousands of black Negroes killing us in our own neighborhoods. I don't even want to live in half those neighborhoods in Chicago because I want to stay alive. And I want to be able to get off work and go home and make it home. That's what I want to be able to do. And I'm telling you the God honest truth. So help me God. I wish I could put my hand on the Bible right now. And many of you feel the same way. You trying to get as far away from the inner city and the hood as possible. And as far out in the suburbs as possible, because you know we can't live together. We got some issues. We can't live together. We won't even snitch. And we know who killed killing these kids. Talking about I ain't got nothing to do with that. But you sure got a lot of mouth. If a white person got to do something to one of us, you got a lot of mouth, don't you? You big but bad. You ready to take on the world? Because I'm getting very angry and I'm starting to get extremely disgusted. I'm very disgusted. Extremely disgusted by what I am seeing happening and not happening. You mean to tell me they raising hell in Portland and they raising hell in Seattle and they done tow up, they trying to get disaster relief right now in Minneapolis, okay? We done protested and marched until we marched the souls off our very feet. In every major city in the United States, we have, oh my God, we done marched until we can't march no more. I think you march your ankles off and your kneecaps off, huh? But we have killers who are becoming serial killers at this point, taking kids' lives, not just in Chicago, taking kids' lives from Atlanta, okay? Where else? I mean, it's been open season on children. These killers are not the white people either. No, it's not the white people. Sorry. They're not the guilty culprits of this. I mean, we literally have a killing spree going on. We have had so many mass shootings done, committed by the hands of our own people. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. But we got all this energy to protest against some white people and some cops. Not saying they didn't do anything wrong. They definitely need to have their day in court and they need to answer for their wrongs. Okay. But there's no way we're going to ever get justice. I don't see it happening. I don't see you getting justice for any of these cop killings while blatantly ignoring. You're blatantly Black Lives Matter, Sean King, Roland Martin. I'm calling everybody out. You're blatantly ignoring every activist leader you can think of. I'm calling them out. Have you heard of a blatant racist? Well, It feels like it's blatant racism, but is at the hands is from our own people. You're blatantly ignoring the fact that we have black people being killed like never before, in this country, in this nation, in this here United States, in the land of the free and the home of the brave. In this country, by black people. Sean King, you're ignoring. Black Lives Matter leader, the one who kicked this whole thing off, organizers, you're ignoring it. You're ignoring it. You are ignoring it. And you think you're going to get justice? Think you're going to get justice for George Floyd? Really? Do you really believe that? I wouldn't hold my breath on it. You really think you're going to get justice for Breonna Taylor? Really? The justice you really want, right? Really? Ahmaud Arbery. You think you're going to get justice? How many years you think they'll be convicted? You think the justice system, do you really believe the justice system is going to take us seriously? We're a big joke to them. I wouldn't. You think they're going to take us seriously? And make these various white killers, white cops, non-white cops, whatever, wannabe cops pay for their crimes while we sit back in silence and watch a mass genocide occur of our own people on American soil? But we're gonna get our panties in a wad. We're gonna get our panties in a wad, right? I got to retitle this whole thing because it was one I was going to touch on something, and I just done went way left from the description. Excuse me, I don't went the description. We gonna get all bent out of shape. We're gonna catch a wedgie. We're gonna get all bent out of shape. Really? Cause and I'm gonna say a few, cause a few white police officers got caught killing us, in the act of killing us. We're gonna get all bent out of shape, and we literally got black serial killers walking around, killing, going from the south side to the west side to the east side, seeking who they may devour, who they may conquer, who they may kill at will. And there's no riots going down, nothing being bombed, all through your communities. And we got serial killers out there, serial killers. It's the same killers. Police, they're not convicting anyone. There's been very few killers. I can count on my hand the number of killers who have actually been charged, even with any of these killings that have gone down this summer. You gonna ignore the mass slaying and homicidal genocide that is happening? It's not happening in South Africa right now. They had their moment. They had their genocide. That's happening in 2020 on American soil. Blacks against blacks. You're going to ignore it? And you are going to go out here seriously and raise hell and think that you're going to get justice and think that a juror of their peers, not of ours, of their peers, are going to and give them and make sure that they serve the sentences that they deserve to serve? You think that's possible? Is it? Is it? No. No. Because it's a joke. We're a laughing stock to them. If I was a white juror, I would think they don't want justice. They just want to clout and want to raise hell over what's trending. So what's trending and popular right now is raising hell and acting a fool about white folks killing us. That's what's trending. That's what's trending and popular. That's what they care about, what's trending. There's a genocide literally going down amongst their own people. Their own people are killing them, doing more damage to them than any racist cop can ever do. Any corrupt DA can ever do. Any prejudiced judge could ever do. They couldn't even put a dent in the harm that we've done to each other. They couldn't put a dent in it. Y'all out here really pressed about Trump? He actually did a lot to help us, believe it or not. Huh. Ask them all black colleges. Look that up. Google that. Okay? Ask them. I can tell you one thing he's not doing. He's not participating in the mass genocide of black people. You could say what you want to say about him all day. He's not killing black people. He's not ordering us to be killed. We the ones allowing this to happen and allowing this to go down on American soil, on our soul, in our own community. I can't think of a policy he supported that has really oppressed us. We all have oppressed ourselves. Not really. He didn't stop me from getting my master's degree. I can tell you that right now. And Trump ain't stopping me from getting my PhD either. Because he doesn't affect my daily life. It's my own people who I have to go and work with and interact with on these jobs who impact my life in a negative manner. Some positive, but it's been a lot of negative. Who I have to worry about hating on me. I may never see Trump a day in my life. And I can't think of one thing. I can't think of one thing that he's done to harm me or cause me irreparable harm and irreparable damage in my life. Well, boy, I can go down a list of all the low-down, dirty stuff that I've experienced and I've seen go down in my own communities, amongst my own people. From business to entertainment, baby. We got a history of being shady with one another. Not loving one another. Being jealous of one another. Hating on one another. Having no type of mercy. All wrath. No mercy. No compassion. All wrath. All rage. Is that all of us? Because I think I'm sounding like a racist. And I'm not racist. I love my people. No. But there's enough of us. There's enough of us. There's enough of us. There's enough of us who are causing a great harm and a great damage. Who are traumatizing other black people. There's enough of us doing it to the point that it's hurting us as a whole. That's it. As a whole. as a whole, as a whole, the generalizations made about black people, they come from all that foolish stuff we see on World Star Hip Hop. It's foolish behavior that we refuse to cast out, isolate ourselves from. All those viral Facebook videos of all that ratchet stuff that's being promoted, it's hurting us. We have all these stereotypes and stigmas attached to us. I don't want a stigma attached to me. I'm not a stereotype. I'm not supposed to be placed in a certain box. My name is Latricia Sharice Wilson, and I'm an individual, and I want to be looked at as an individual, and I want to be judged based upon the content of my character and not the color or the melanin of my skin. But it makes it so hard for me to not be generalized. When every time I turn on the TV and every time I scroll on Facebook, I'm seeing news reports, news articles, and even social media viral videos of havoc and violence. Throughout my community, throughout various communities, throughout various black communities. So I want to say this before I go in Walmart. I want to say I am grateful, and I am so proud of the individuals in the Cabrini Green neighborhood in Chicago for stepping up and coming together. I'm proud that someone decided to say something. I did include and link to the article in the description of this Facebook post. I am so elated that I really am. I really am. That a suspect is in custody because the community and Cabrini Green decided to hold one of their own accountable for his own or her, because we don't know who the suspect quite is yet, actions. Thank you. And if more communities come together, if more people speak up, if you demand, all of these so-called activists and protesters losing their mind over some white people, a few white people killing us, if you demand that they come down in your neighborhoods, demand it or withdraw your support. Demand it or put them on blast. Demand it or put them on blast. Demand it or withdraw your support from this organization as a whole. Demand it. If you demand it, if you demand it, if you accept nothing less but full support, full community, full local, full national support, full support from your congressmen and congresswomen and House of Representatives, your state legislators from the House to the Senate. If you demand it, then we will see change come about. You can't pick and choose. You can't play this political game and think you're gonna win. You won't win, you will lose, and you will fail. And we will never get the type of justice that we need to get, or respect that we should have been gotten 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 100 years ago, we can go all the way back to slavery. You can't pick what's trending and act a whole fool over it, a donkey over it. This is trending. This is popular. If I film this killing, my video will go viral and it's going to get on CNN, MSN, BC, Fox News, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Los Angeles Times, the Associated Press. So I'm going to take my time. I'm going to get this whole full footage of this police killing, this police beating this unarmed, killing this unarmed black man, or brutalizing this unarmed black woman. I'm going to make sure I'm going to get this footage. I got time for that. But I probably saw 2-3 teenagers get killed right in front of me. Man, I didn't try to video record that. Nah, that's not trendy. That's not trending. White on black is what's trending. That's not trending. I'm going to go to the Bible with it. God says we're going to have to humble ourselves. We're going to have to seek his face. And we'll have to turn from our wicked ways. Part of that is holding each other responsible for all of the wicked ways. Not some of them. For all of the wicked ways. And then he will hear from heaven. And he will heal our land. He will heal our land. You picking and choosing what's popular. Picking and choosing what's popular. What you want to be a social justice warrior about. That's a problem. Yeah, racist police are a problem in America. A biased judicial system, has been historically a problem. It has proven to be a problem. We can go case after case and look at numerous cases, and there will not be a shadow of the doubt that there is a problem with our judicial system. But when I tell you those problems, in my mind, don't equate. It's almost like a needle in a haystack to the magnitude in which these mass killings and outward demonstration of hate we have shown and currently show to each other each and every day in this country, it does not compare. That is our biggest problem. We got to tackle that. We got to get love in our hearts. And love for our fellow brothers and sisters. We cannot love and embrace anyone else, and we cannot expect any other father, brother, or sister of any other creed or nationality, or even from the Middle East to the Red Sea. To have godly love for us when we don't have godly love for ourselves. Get it together, people. Get it together. I'm going to get off this live. I got a few viewers. Get it together. I mean it. We need to get it together. And we need to get it together now. I'm waving at a few people while I say get it together. I'm waving at, we got to get it together. I'm not a stereotype. I'm not anything that has been pre-assumed about me. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. And I won't be. I have to stop myself because I'm going to make some people mad. I'll stop by saying that. I'm not going to live my life that way. I'm not. I won't have a label placed on me. I won't be labeled. I don't want to be in a category. I'm not a hood rat. I'm none of those things. I'm a black queen. You're black queens as well. And all of you are black kings as well. I need y'all to start acting like it. I need y'all to start full place at your throne. I need you to be righteous in it. Be righteous in it. And I need you to stop begging white people for justice while refusing to demand justice. When one of us slays one of us. Have a good day.
This instance, you're reaching out for any information you can get on the killer. But to this poor family who lost their little boy who loved basketball and he inspired his neighbors.
That's true. You know, it's tough on that mother right about now. It's tough on that father. You got complete children over there, almost 300 to 400 children over there in that little section over there that are traumatized.
What is happening there? Why is this happening?
Well, you have so much self-hatred. It hasn't been taught. And the first thing they want to do is grab a gun and settle their problems, which is wrong. Then also, you know, we still have little drugs here, little games there. But overall, it's just self-hatred. No love for the next person. When you ask, am I my brother's keeper or am I my brother's killer?
So hard to look at these pictures, and this hits close to home for you. You lost a daughter to gun violence.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still traumatized by it every day. You know, that's my baby, that's my firstborn, and it's tough. I'm just still in the healing process because I'll never get over it. You won't hear the footsteps, and you won't hear that voice. And I know what these families are going through, and it is tough.
But it inspired you to do what you're doing, and you're doing something so important, and that is you're building and establishing trust in these communities. And you're actually actively working as a liaison to the police. In this particular instance, this 9-year-old boy who lost his life, have you gotten any leads, any information? I know you're also offering a $4,000 reward.
Yeah, we got a lot of tips in. The community is stepping up. You know, it's not necessarily about the money, because if life is worth any brown penny we can put up, but so be it. If we have to put it up to find out where the perpetrators are, then we do what we have to do. But the community is stepping up. They're starting to change and bond with the detectives in the police department, because I asked them, not to point the fingers at the detectives or the police. Point the finger where the shooter is at. This is the one that stirred up and caused this problem. Why would you take this child life and then run like a coward?
Our heart breaks for that family. Our heart breaks for you and your family after losing your daughter. Thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for what you're doing. You're trying to help so many.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. And I do have a nationwide national call center. It's called 1-800-YOU-TELL-US, 1-800-883-5587.
Thank you for coming on tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
In this instance, you're reaching out for any information you can get on the killer. But to this poor family who lost their little boy who loved basketball and he inspired his